about wanting to see the Eastern Conference battle.
Those the nuns.
We're certainly seeing that.
That's what they need.
And
They
they're
need the
blessed. They were blessed here by the Salesian Nuns. Area 51, that
Right away.
connection early here. And then later on in the first quarter, once again, the Spurs got out to a hot start, and you wondered, okay, is this the time they're able to hang on to it?
Yeah, and you thought maybe the Thunder would make a comeback at them, but they weren't blessed.
Yeah, it was certainly the Spurs giving OKC a dose of their own medicine. So are we calling this Area 51 or Area 59? After
All
last
right.
night. Oh no, I'm gonna
A
get
long
booed off the
show.
court. All right, pre-game, Victor Wembanyama, he always, gets up some half-court heat.
Messing around.
They're not looking great. But in the game is when it matters the most. Victor Wembanyama, the final seconds of the first half here, pulls up. He makes it look easy.
Got all the misses
my
out.
friends.
Got all his misses out.
So here is Victor. Here's what he had to say about that shot after the game.
Look at the rainbow.
Those of us who watched you kind of mess around shooting half-court shots after shoot-arounds and practices, doesn't seem like you make a whole lot of those when you're messing around.
I was just thinking shoot to score. I wasn't messing around at halftime.
How could you not love that man?
Love it.
To the third quarter we go here. Castle, once again, looking for Victor Wembanyama.
Upstairs.
Castle's fingerprints were all over this game.
Yes, they were.
Castle was a superstar in the third quarter of this game, no doubt.
Without a doubt. He just keeps bringing it. We talk about that level of competition. He has it
Defensively.
every possession. He's screaming. He's happy for his teammates. When he made that half-court shot, Castle jumped into his arms like a little kid. That boy loved basketball.
And the Nuns are loving it.
It proved.
Look at him. Look at him. Hey, he flopped.
Physicality.
Nope, that's what you get.
He
Don't
just
flop.
bounced it back there and said, somebody take it.
Hey!
By the way, this was uncharacteristic of OKC.
Why would you? Don't sell it.
They had 20 turnovers in this game.
Yeah.
Hey!
They were the ones forcing the turnovers against the Spurs last
This is
night.
pretty cool. You can see Victor leaning on Mitch Johnson. In the same moment, another generation, Tim Duncan, leaning on the great Greg Popovich as the Spurs go on to win this game pretty handily. And Wemby's the first player
Deja vu.
to average 30, 10, and 3 blocks a game through the first 4 games of a conference finals since Tim
Timmy
Duncan.
D.
Yeah, that was in 2003. And before that, only Hakeem and Kareem have done this since blocks became official in 74. Let's take a listen to Wemby after the game.
We didn't do nothing unexpected, but the truth is that we had never been in this kind of situation before. It was our first deficit in a playoff series, and we just responded, but it was nothing amazing. It wasn't magic. We just did what we needed to do, and the series is far from over.
All right, so the Spurs, in all honesty, Brian, they came out and looked like a team that was down 2-1 and had to win. And yet, it's easy to take away more from this game 4 than just that.
They played with force and desperation. If they had gone down 3-1,
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I mean, Thunder are really good. To beat them 3 in a row, I almost thought this was a quasi-elimination game. I wasn't sure what we were going to get from Wemby. We're still learning about him. He's still learning about himself. I thought he looked a little worn down in game 3.
Yeah.
He had 6 dunks in game 1. Amazing, right? And the overtime, I know, helped that. Game 2, 1 dunk. Game 3, 1 dunk. I just didn't think he had the same force and burst. 4 dunks last night. And it's not all about the dunks, but it's about what they sort of represent, about his energy level. And I will say this. You can say that they're young and that they're inexperienced and they may make mistakes. They have repeatedly answered the call this year in these playoffs when they faced adversity. It happens in all 3 rounds, and it leads me to believe that they will be able to do it again if they face it again.
I was with you, Brian. I was a little concerned about his fatigue because it starts and stops with him. Like, if he doesn't play like the best player on the floor night in, night out, they don't have a chance. And you've seen in game 3, I think he had 12 points through most of the game. He kicked it up in the fourth quarter, but if he doesn't start with that and enforce his power on the game, it's going to be tough for them to survive. They're going to need that, especially on the road in game 5 at OKC. And those other guys, he empowers and feeds into those other guys to play at a high level, especially defensively. Castle, Harper, they're going to need some bench production, of course, but it starts with Wemby.
I don't think that he's tired. I think it's just one of them things that he doesn't really know where to assert himself. You remember he had that
He'll be
quote,
Isaiah Hartenstein.
The other day he had that quote where it was interesting. He said, I need to find a way to make my teammates better.
Yeah.
And I need to do that. And I think we took it as he's going to be looking for them more. But I think it was just action-based. He understands that, hey, I need to be in the right position. I need to sprint to screens. He was sprinting to screens. He was sprinting the floor. He was aggressive early on and saying, give me the ball, kind of yelling into their ear, so to speak, to say, hey, give me the ball, trust me, I'm going to get us going. And I think that assertiveness is what won in the end.
So also on the Spurs defense on SGA, they doubled him less in this game.
And late.
Which was interesting.
Picked and chose moments when to do so.
I think it was more like it seemed like at the end of the shot clock mostly, where they didn't leave right away. Everybody stayed home, and then randomly, if you brought in action late, under 8 seconds, 10 seconds, they ran and jumped at you, and it wasn't always a closed trap. It was a trap, but we're kind of going for the passing lanes.
One of the most important stats in this game is Alex Caruso, who was shooting 60% on threes.
Yeah.
Non-existent.
He only took one shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't that he had a bad game. He had a non-existent game. And that is the byproduct of not doubling Shea so hard on the perimeter and staying attached
Stand in front of people.
And I'm going to tell you something. One thing, Malika, the Spurs didn't play a perfect game. They only shot 38%.
Yeah.
They only shot 27% from three.
Yeah.
This game was won at the other end of the court.
Defensively.
No Jalen Williams and no Ajay Mitchell really narrows the
Ball handling.
the Thunder's offensive production margin for error. And we saw it all the way through that whole
And
game.
it certainly puts even more on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's shoulders if he is having to take those ball handling responsibilities. And so the question, it turns to Game 5, because on the one hand, OKC has home court advantage back, so they should feel good about that. But if they're not healthy, we see what the San Antonio Spurs team is able to do. Let's bring in our senior insider, Shams Charania, here with more as we look towards Game 5. Shams, are we there? Are we there? I think
Morning, Shams. Where's the motorcycle jacket? Oh,
yeah, no, he's dressed up today.
Motorcycle jacket today.
Shams, what more can you tell us about the status here of both Jalen Williams and Ajay Mitchell as we look towards Game 5 in Oklahoma City?
Woo.
Malika, the Thunder are still evaluating both Jalen Williams and Ajay Mitchell on a day-to-day basis. J-Dub, a.k.a. Jalen Williams, we know he suffered a second injury to that same left hamstring in just under 1 month. I am told that he is making some progress in his on-court workouts. He's starting to do more and more. Ajay Mitchell, on the other hand, he's been dealing with right calf tightness throughout the playoffs, and then he was diagnosed over the weekend with a right calf strain. Both of their statuses are very much up in the air for Game 5 on Tuesday night, both dealing with soft tissue injuries. We know the Oklahoma City Thunder as an organization always look at the long-term approach, and when you think about these soft tissue injuries of hamstring as well as a calf, these typically are not just day-by-day injuries.
Yeah, and they are saying it's soreness and not a strain here for J-Dub in particular, but when you hear calf and when you hear hamstring, it's not usually something you see a return from quickly. Shams, thank you for that insight. We'll check in with you as we get... NBA Today is live from Cleveland. We're counting down to Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and tip-off is less than 5 hours away. The Knicks, they're on the verge of a sweep. They're up 3-0. This is how they got it done on Saturday night, even with some big stars in the building. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift.
And his girlfriend.
And they couldn't shake it off. The Knicks, they were able to get out in transition. Hart hands it off to Bridges. Gets the layup to go there.
Hold on. Let me push it. Let me push the offense.
Bridges looking.
I see you.
Finds Landry Shamet.
The microwave.
Hey, no thought.
7 of 8 from 3 in this series so far.
No thought for him.
The New York Knicks, they scored 16 points in transition in the first half. Only 2 points for the Cavaliers. And then there was Jalen Brunson. The Brunson burner was fully turned up here. Very productive third quarter in this one, Danny.
Yep. Get into that left hand. You know it's automatic.
And every time he gets James Harden in isolation.
Eyes light up.
Yep.
So does the rim.
Nails the step back there. And then Brunson finds Mitchell Robinson. Little alley-oop slam there.
One team's playing at a different speed than the other team.
Yeah. And Brunson scored or assisted on 14 points, by the way, in the third. And then the Landry mat. It was open.
Oh, I like that.
Put him in a spin cycle.
Give me microwave.
Keep going. What else you got?
That's it.
Stay hot. Step back.
Right.
Cycle done.
The Knicks, they win their 10th consecutive.
Is anybody going to guard him?
No, he's like,
Oh,
nope.
Like the white flag has been
Here's Brunson
waved.
after the game.
think most importantly, we obviously had that next man up mentality. But we have a bunch of individuals in that locker room who work really hard, and they're very psychotic about their work and the things they do, and making sure that their minds that they're ready physically and mentally. So when their number's called and when there's time to go out there, they're ready.
All right, the numbers have been a big topic of conversation this series, so let's look at the Knicks numbers here. They rank first in basically every statistical category here this postseason.
Sheesh.
Scoring, field goal percentage, three-point shooting, scoring differential. The list goes on and on. When you're number one in that many things, you need a Hall of Famer to talk about you. And that's why we have our Hall of Famer, Mark Spears, here joining us on set in Cleveland. Mark, you have covered a lot of New York Knicks teams over the years. You've covered good New York Knicks teams. You've covered New York Knicks teams that struggle. What has separated this group from others that you've seen?
This morning, Kat was asked about only Brunson being on the All-NBA team. Yeah. And he said, well, it's because we play defense. And I think that's the difference with this Knicks team is they're a defensive, everything.
Right.
Like an NFL defensive team, the way they're playing. And the thing is, it's not just Kat. It's a collective. Kat's 6th in defensive rating. McBride is 4th in defensive rating. Hart is averaging 1.7 steals per game. You got 5 Knicks that are averaging a steal a game, and they were actually number 1 in the NBA in defensive rating until last night when the Spurs jumped over them.
Ooh, okay.
So for this Knicks defense, I mean, they are the reason, respectfully to Jalen Brunson, all the amazing that he's doing, that they're just destroying everybody right now.
They're a classic Mike Brown team.
Give a lot of credit to Mike Brown, opening up the floor with Kat and making him initiate the offense. But for me, the guy has been Mikal Bridges. He's been all over the place, right time. There was a point there in the Atlanta series, we weren't sure if he was happy. They're going to lose him. He's at the end of the bench, not looking happy. As you see in this tape, he's getting in the paint, driving, kicking, finding guys, relocating, working the dunk area, setting some screens. As you see, Jalen Brunson sees this. This is their offense now. They got Kat being the point guard. Now he sees a mismatch. It's him and Jared Allen. They're putting a big man on him. He's like, all right, you going to put a big man on me? I'm going to go to the basket. Use a little wiry strength right here. Get the guy above him. Flex, show a little bicep muscle on the way in. So, now he got the full court. They're pressing. He's like, all right, I can bring the ball up too. This is what I can do. We make a mistake. Press me, press us. We're going to find it. We're going to push the break. Let me come into an offense. He's moving fast, setting a screen for Kat. Slips out. Donovan Mitchell knows he's a smaller player. Little easy layup. Just him doing these little things and playing hard has made him so effective and efficient. 86% on layups and dunks. And in that mid-range, he's damn near the same because he's knocking down that mid-range at a high clip.
It really engages him more that he's not just standing in the corner and waiting for threes.
Absolutely.
Look, in this offense, we're going to put you on the move. We're going to let you do your things. And when you get in transition, don't just pass and run to the corner. Go to the basket, create. I think all that, he always had that in his game, but they've sort of ignited that in him.
Yeah, he's put emphasis on it. You see him a lot, getting on the breakaway, using them hamstrings, getting out, stretching out, using his height, using his length, getting to the basket. But I always liked him within cutting. Yeah. If he can cut, if he can set those back screens, pop in there, that you see the double coming, he needs to be the guy. Him and Josh Hart are good at that, getting into that open area and making something happen out of nothing.
There's been some discourse that the championship game is being played, the championship series has been being played out west right now between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. The way that these New York Knicks are playing right now, if this is the New York Knicks team that shows up, I'm not sure that's true, Aman.
Yeah, the championship is going to be tougher than people once imagined it, just because we finally have a couple of teams that are making adjustments and not making adjustments game by game. This is in the game action right now. Third quarter, we coming out. We're not doing that no more. Now what's your move? This is real chess out here right now.
Let me speak to this very quickly.
Yep.
Yes, the Western Conference has been a harder run.
Yeah.
Yes, the Knicks have gotten a Philly team that was banged up, tired, and maybe a little bit satisfied, and a Cavs team that was tired and a little bit satisfied. But they're beating all these teams. They're crushing them. They've won these 10 games by 250 points combined. It'd be one thing if they were barely getting by. They're taking their competition and they're destroying it. Historically, when you destroy competition like that, it means you're a championship-level team.
And the two teams in the West are destroying each other.
Right. And so we'll see if that rest versus rust comes into effect once again here. And speaking of, coming up here on NBA Today,